Dear students, in this video, we are going to study about the place of supply, the problems on place of supply. We have seen the theoretical part, that how the place of supply will be and how the time of supply will be. So we'll study the problems on place of supply as well as on times of supply. Okay, so place of supply and the time of supply are very important in GST. Let us see some problems. Akash, a registered person, supplied certain goods to Mr. Gagan, who is also a registered person. The following details are available in respect of transactions. Right? There are two parties. One is a supplier, his name is Akash, and second is the recipient, his name is uh, Gagan. Okay, there are some transactions they are told. What are the transactions? The date of removal of goods is the first date, which is done on 21/1/2018. Second is the date of issue of invoice, that is on 18/1/2018. And third is date of payment entered in the books of accounts, that is 28/1/2018. And date on which amount credited in bank account, that is 31/1/2018. Okay, now see, the time of supply shall be the earliest of the following dates, right? Out of that, one date we have to ignore it, right? Date of issue of actual invoice, right? Actual invoice, that is 18/1, that we should consider. But date of removal of goods should not be considered, because removal of goods does not have any value. If you can remove it, it can reach us after some time, immediately it can reach us. So removal of goods from the godown or a warehouse will not have any importance in the case of supply of goods in calculation of time of supply. So the date of issue of actual invoice, date of payment entered in the books of account, and date on which amount credited in the bank account. Now these three dates are there. In these three dates, whichever is earlier, right? 18/1/2018 is the date of issue, 28/1/2018 is the date of payment, and 31/1/2018 is date on which amount credited in the bank account. So 18/1/2018 is the earliest, right? That has come first. So that date is called as the time of supply, that is earliest. Okay, let us see one more problem. Sujit is a registered person. He supplied 1,000 units of certain taxable goods to Miss Neelam, who is also a registered person. From the following details, determine the time of supply. So now you need to determine the time of supply. The date of removal of the goods is 15/5/2018. Date of issue of invoice 24/4/2018. Then the date of payment entered in the books of accounts 28/4/2018, and date on which amount credited in the bank account, that is 29/4/2018. So what could be the time of supply? What could be the time of supply? Anybody here? Yes, what could be the time of supply? So the time of supply is date of last date, that is 15/4/2018 we have taken. Okay, then date, that is date of removal of goods. Then date of payment entered in the books of account, that is 28/4/2018, and date on which amount credited in the bank, that is 29/4/2018. Now I would like to ask you one thing here. In the last problem, we have not taken the date of removal of goods, right? But here we took the date of removal of goods. So how to take that is, remember, you need to compare date of removal of goods and date of issue of invoice. In those things, whichever is earlier, that is the date of issue of invoice as per section 31 subsection 1. Remember. So now date of removal of goods is 15/4/2018. Date of issue of invoice is 24/2018. Now as per section 31 subsection 1, the date of issue of invoice is, it is not 25/4/2018. It is 15/4/2018. Now in the last problem, let me show you. The date of removal of goods is 21/2018. So the date of issue of invoice is 18/1/2018. Now first we need to compare these both. So which was earlier? 18/1/2018 was earlier, right? So we took that date as the date of issue. Now here the date of issue is the date of removal, that is 15/4/2018. Then date of payment 28/4/2018, and date on which amount credited in the bank account 29/4/2018. Now out of these three date, whichever is earlier, that is 15/4/2018. That date is called as the time of supply. Okay, now next is where advance is received on supply of goods or under forward charge. Where suppose if you have received any kind of advances under some kind of a forward charge, now what should be the time of supply? Let me take an example here. Mr. A is the manufacturer of a special machines and is registered person under GST. He received an advance of rupees 2,50,000 along with the purchase order on 14th October 2017. The advance payment was entered in the books of account on 18th October 2017 and credited in his bank account on 20th October 2017. Full point. The special machine was delivered to the buyer on 20th October 2017 and invoice was raised on 29th October 2017, being next to the date of removal. The balance payment of 7,50,000 was received on 8th of November, which was credited in Now here on this basis, if you check the date of supply of services, that is not applicable, right? And the date of issue of invoice is 29/1/2018 in one case, and in second case it is not applicable again. So date enter in the books of supplier. If you compare in the books of supplier, so the date are 6/2/2018 and 29/1/2018. So the time of supply is whichever is earlier. Okay, in the case number 1 where he bought some certain goods, there it is 29/1/2018, and in case number 2 it is 16/2/2017. So whichever was earlier of all the date, that was treated as, even in this case also, the time of supply. Okay, next problem we'll see the supply of services by bank or forward charges. Okay, when you supply anything on the basis of a bank or a forward charge, like take an example, Allahabad Bank has provided the following details in respect of service provided by him. So Allahabad Bank has provided some set of services. So the date of supply of services is 6/12/2017. Date of issue of invoice is within 45 days of provision of services is 10/1/2018, and date of receipt of payment is 18/12/2017. Determine the time of supply of services. We need to determine the time of supply of services. So what will be the time of supply of services? So here the date of issue of invoice, since it is within 45 days, right? As if it is within 45 days, then because the provision has provided that it is within 45 days, so the date we should take it as 10/1/2018, whatever date is given. Now date of receipt of payment is 18/12/2017. Now date of supply of services we should not take, because the date of supply of services, though it is earlier, but here times he has specified. Now in these two dates, whichever is earlier, in date of issue of invoice, that is 10/1/2018, and the date of receipt of payment, that is 18/12/2017. Being the earliest of 2 days, the time of supply shall be 10/1/2018, right? 10/1/2018. Actually, the date here, date of receipt of payment, it should be 10/1/2018. By mistake, it has become as 10/1/2017. Next is time of supply of services for services or forward charges. When there are certain forward charges or some balance is remaining, which you will pay in some near future date, right? Their forward charges are applicable. There, as per this date, if you see, let us see an example. On 14th of December, booking of convention hall, some agreed is repeat 80,000. Advance you paid was 10,000. 1st of January, function held in convention hall. 15th of January, invoice issued for rupees 80,000, indicating balance of rupees 70,000 payable. And 22nd of February, balance payment of 70,000 received. Now, as per section 31 of rule 47 of CGST rule, the tax invoice is to be issued within 30 days. The period what the GST has mentioned is the tax invoice has to be issued within 30 days of supply of services. In this case, the invoice is not issued within the prescribed time limit as per section 13 subsection 2 subsection B. In a case where the invoice is not issued within the prescribed time limit, the time of supply of such services is the date of provision of services or receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. So as we know that 30 days is a time. While seeing the theory, we saw that the 30 days is the time to supply the services and the receipt, the issue of the invoice, tax invoice within 30 days. But you didn't do it. Now, in that case, the law has been said that as per GST rule, the time of supply of services is the date of the provision is the services or the receipt of payment, right? The services or receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, that will be the time of supply. Okay, therefore, the time of supply of services to the extent of rupees 10,000, booking amount is 14th of December, right? On 10,000 rupees, you paid it as a booking. When you paid on 14th of December, as the date of payment of rupees 10,000 is earlier, because you paid that on when you paid that advance on 14th of December. The time of supply of services to be extent of rupees 70,000 in 1st of January, right? Which is the date of provision of services. So the answer is time of supply for booking amount. So booking amount is different for it. It is 14th of January, December, sorry. On 14th of December, you paid the amount of booking. So that date is called as the time of supply for booking of your amount, and the time of supply for balance amount. For your balance amount, time of supply is 70,000 of the balance amount is 1st of January, right? 1st of January. Why? Because balance you are paid on 22nd of February, right? 1st of January, you took a hall and your function was did, everything was over. Now from 1st of January till 22nd of February, it is more than 30 days. More than 30 days. If you count, it is more than 30 days. Hence, whichever is earlier, service or receipt of payment. So service when you have taken on 1st of January, but receipt of payment when you did 22nd of February. So which is earlier? So the earlier date is 1st of February, January. So the 1st of January is the time of supply of the balance of amount of the convention hall. Next is excess amount received by telephone company. If any telephone company is there, if they have received any kind of excess amount, now in that case, suppose an MTNL, a telephone company, provides the following information in respect of Mr. Sanjay, who is a regular customer of the telephone company. On 1/2/2018, supply of telephone services for the month of January 2018, that is 2,250 rupees. On 1/2/2018 again, issue of invoice by the service provider is 2,250 rupees. And on 12/2/2018, receipt of payment of rupees 3,000. determine the time of supply of excess payment of rupees 750 received by the telephone company. Okay, we need to tell whether the 750, the time of supply of excess amount, we need to determine it. The company has received 3000 as against the invoice of 2250. The excess amount of 750 can be adjusted against the next invoice, right? In next bill, whatever the MTNL is going to charge a bill for Mr. Sanjay, in the next invoice that amount has to be adjusted. The company has an option to take the date of next invoice as the time of supply. So next invoice, the company has a tax as GST has given an option that the whatever excess amount is there, the company has option to take that amount 750 rupees in the next invoice, and that can be shown as the time of supply of services in relation to the amount of 750 received in excess against the earlier invoice. So instead of refunding the amount, because if you refund again, the company, if they refund again, it will be a lot of difficulty again, right? So instead of that, that amount can be kept by a company as excess amount, and when next time he will be paying his dues or bill, in that time, the payment when the Sanjay is doing that in his invoice, that amount has to be reduced, and that date will be the amount of time of supply of that particular amount. Okay. Now next is the following details are available in respect of a supply of services by KMB consultancy to Raju. The services is liable, the service is liable under reverse charge basis under GST. The service is liable under reverse charge basis under GST. So what are the events? The date of payment as entered in the books by service receiver Raju is 12/1/11/2017. That is the date of payment which is entered in the book by servicer. Now, the date on which above payment is debited in the bank account of Raju, that is 21/11/2017. And the date of issue of invoice by the supplier, that is 19/11/2017. Okay. Now in this case, if you see the date of payment entered in the books that we have taken, and the date on which above payment is debited in the bank account, that also we have taken, and the date immediately following 60 days from the date of invoice, right? Immediately following 60 days from the date of invoice, it means 61st day. 61st day we have to point. That is 19/11/2017 is the date plus 61 days, right? Plus 61 days you have to count. So 61 days, it means it is 19/1/2018. So the point of supply is earliest of the following. So the time of supply or point of supply is earliest of the following. That is either 12/1/11/2017, 21/11/2017, or 19/1/2018. So the earliest is 12/1/2017. That is the time of supply. Okay, next problem is Varda Enterprises provides 3 different taxable services with varying rate of GST. On the occasion of New Year, the firm issued vouchers of rupees 2000, 3000 to Ram and Mohan respectively. Right? Then the vouchers issued to Ram can be redeemed for one specific services, whereas the vouchers issued to Mohan can be redeemed for either for 3 services or partly for any combination of 3 services. The vouchers can be redeemed within 1 month only. Both redeemed the vouchers on 28th of January. Determine the time of supply of these vouchers. Okay, so we need to determine the time of supply for both the persons. Both are the employees. Okay, in the first case, vouchers issued to Ram. The company has given the vouchers and we need to determine the time of supply for it. The voucher issued to Ram can be redeemed for a particular services. It means this voucher is identifiable with a particular supply. Hence, the time of supply shall be the date of issue of voucher. Right? Whenever the voucher is issued, because this is related to a particular product or a particular supply, in that case, the time when the voucher is being issued, that date is called as the time of supply. So in first case, Ram's case, the voucher is issued on 1st of January. So that date is called as the time of supply. Okay, in the second case, if you see, the time of supply shall be 28th of January 2017, because the date of redemption of voucher becomes, because the voucher is not identifiable with a particular supply. If you see in second case, uh, Mohan, when he got a voucher, uh, Mohan can redeem for either for 3 services or a partly for combination of 3 services. He has not told that for one particular services. He can redeem this voucher for 3 services, or partly he can get the benefit of this voucher for partly for all the 3 services. In that case, the date of redemption of voucher, because the voucher is not identifiable, you cannot identify this voucher for which kind of service you are using it with a particular supply at the time of voucher issue of voucher. So the time of supply is the date of redeemed voucher. So when the voucher is redeemed, it is on 28th of January. So we need to remember here, whenever you can identify the reason, like you are able to redeem it, or the particular service is there which is related to a particular supply or particular kind of identifiable particular supply, in that case the date of issue of voucher is the date of time of supply. But when you cannot identify it towards a particular supply, not identifiable with a particular supply, in that case the date of issue of voucher is not a time of supply, but the date of using the voucher or redeeming the voucher, that date is called as the time of supply. Well, let us see some more problems. Determine the time of supply in the following cases. Assume that the rate of GST changes from 28% to 80% with effect from June 1. Right, with effect from June 1, the rate of GST has increased. Right, it has increased. Like GST changes from 28 to 18%. So we need to determine the time of supply as well as the percentage of GST level. So there are different cases he has given, 6 cases he has given. In first case, the date of supply is 28th of May, date of invoice June 9 and July 25. So likewise, there are 6 cases. So let us see on the provision of section 14 of CGST Act 2017. In first case, the date of supply is May 28, date of issue of invoice is June 9, date of receipt of payment is June 25. So the time of supply here is, we need to see the time. When you see the time is the earliest, right, between the date of issue and the date of receipt of payment, right, that is June 9. Right, we have seen one chart was there. You need to compare between that. So June 9 will become a time of supply. So now if you see the June 9, in June there was 18%, right? June 1st, from that era it has started with 18%. So 18% is the GST. Now in the second case, May 28 is the issue again. May 25 is the receipt of payment. May and the time of supply. The time of supply is again, you need to compare between issue of invoice and receipt of payment. So that is May 28. So May 28 is the time of supply. So May means it is before June, right? Before June, May 28, then 28% GST is applicable. Similarly, third case, May 28 is the date of supply. Then June 29 is the issue of invoice. Receipt is done on May 26. So the time of supply here, the time of supply is May 26, right? May 26. The reason why it is May 26 is when you compare between the date of invoice and receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. So that May 26 is the receipt is earlier. So the time of supply is May 26. So May means again the 28% GST is applicable. Fourth case, June 10 is the supply of services. Issue of invoice May 28, receipt of payment June 25. Now again, when you compare, right, issue of invoice is done on May 28, date of receipt of payment 25, right? So now time of supply, when we see it, actually the goods are supplied in the month of June. We need to compare here. So the receipt of payment will become the time of supply, right? We should not find like earliest of the following. Earliest, if you do it, you will get as May, right? So the 18% will be GST. Now in the 4/5 case, June 10 is the date of supply. Invoice is May 28, right? And date of receipt of payment May 16, and time of supply is May 16, right? Earliest between May 28 and May 16, that 28% is applicable. Last case June 10, then June 9, May 28. Now here, instead of saying, because here if you see date of supply is more, that is June 10, then what we need to compare is between June 10 and date of issue of invoice, that is June 9. So the applicable rate is 18%.